everybody always does when they first go live the first time on something, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or whatever. But this is the first, well, it's not the first epi of elementary night school, because we've had elementary night school since panty times. The times of when it was panty town. Oh, I'm trying to put this light on. Oh, God. Alright, guys. Everybody's time when they start ongoing. See, it's making me have it be tall, but, like, I wanted it to be different. Who cares? You know what? Who cares? Because that's the whole point of elementary night school is, like, it's elementary night school. Like, it's not perfect, I guess. Like, do you remember, like, when you were in, like, 3rd to 5th grade? Was there any days of school where it was like, that was a perfect day of school? There wasn't. And so it's like, don't worry about it. And especially because this is the first time I'm doing it since Panny, when I used to do it on Facebook, which we don't even talk about that now because I don't even have that. But I was going to start this 2 weeks ago. The first post I made, I was like, oh, July 16th, let's do this. And then that night I was like, I'm too tired and nobody cares. I'm not even going to do this. And then last week I would have, but probably the same kind of negative feelings. I don't know. Things have been crazy. But you know what? The teacher of a class ain't supposed to be telling you all that, especially when you're today's modern, busy preteen, ages 8 to 10 years old, and needing to experience grades 3 through 5 in night school format rather than in the normal, what I call chump school, in the daytime for babies. Because it's like, yeah, I guess if you're 9 years old, you could take time out of your day, spend 5, 6, 7, whatever, how many hours they make you sitting up there. But it's like, why would you though? Because you've got a job. You're working. All right. Somebody said yick. I don't know what that exactly means. I think they're saying I'm ugly. But this show, for those who are tuning in, is called Elementary Night School. Elementary Night School. Elementary Night School. And this is absolutely an opportunity for today's modern, busy, hardworking preteen, ages 8 to 10, to get the curriculum they would normally receive in daytime, like I say, chump school for babies, for 3rd to 5th grade, but at night, because let's say they've got warrants. They are not able to go to the school because they will immediately be sent to Camarillo corrections agencies, and we can't have that for them. They're only 9. So I said, back when I was in 3rd grade, that's about the time when Arthur Fonzarelli of the television program Happy Days, he was embarrassed because he was a super cool dude. And ask me Sonic or Mario. Sonic, mostly because of the guy from Parks and Recreation that's so outrageous, and I'm not thinking of his name right now. Anyways, the one that's like, pills, baby, that guy. He was in the Sonic, or he played Sonic or something. And then it always reminds me of when he goes, I'm on DuckTales, Larry, and like that's so funny. So I would have to say Sonic, and also because Mario is like it's racist. So somebody said, "Would I want $1,000?" The Sea Dog. The Sea Dog, welcome to class. It's elementary night school. Elementary night school. Elementary night school. And um yeah, I think when we're talking, because especially I'm glad you asked that about the $1,000, because I don't know if you saw the like description, but the description here tells you that tonight's lesson, the very first lesson of our new session of class 2026, this show hasn't even been on since 2021 maybe, but it's math tonight. Now I see that Gabriel the second, Gabriel, Gerbla, Gabriela. I'm not 100 why they're saying biggie, big back, big biggie back. I think they're calling me names. Are you calling me names, sir? Or ma'am, or they, or them? I don't know. I think maybe you're calling me big, like that I'm fat. And if that's the case, well, guess what? I'm the teacher of elementary night school. I already went to elementary school way back when I was those ages. And those people at that time already told me I was fat. So if you're going to try to tell me that now, like decades, like full decades and a millennia later, I'm not bothered. Oh, that's not what you mean? What are you saying? I don't see. This is the first time I've ever went live on YouTube. Okay. I used to do elementary night school on Facebook Live during pandemic. That was a long time ago. I don't even have Facebook anymore. But I wanted to bring elementary night school back because first of all, it's hard out here in these streets for these preteens. They are trying to learn their math. They're trying to learn the info. They've got to prove to their divorce judge that they can complete their elementary school education so they can get custody of their own kids. They don't have time to go to CHUMP Daytime School for babies. They go to elementary night school. Elementary night school. No, nobody's mean. It's all fine. It's okay. No, they were mean at that time. But you know what? They weren't even mean. They were kids. This show is for actually kids. It's for adults too, because my personal feeling is that there's a lot of people who have not been in third through fifth grade for like a really, really long time. Not as long as me, but a while. And so for those people, I'm like, well, I'll give this information that's for the today's modern preteens so that they can experience the authentic Arthur Fonzarelli from Happy Days, fake 1950s in the 1970s night school experience for today's modern preteens. Because when I was watching that show, when he went to night school to get his GED, I asked my mom, I go, because I was in third grade right then, I go, Mom, wait, there's night school? I didn't know there was night school. What are you talking about? I want to go to night school. I don't want to have to go to school in the day. I don't like getting up in the mornings. I was 8. I was like, I hate it. And so I was like, why can't there be night school for me? And my mom was like, they don't have that for kids because kids are supposed to be like doing things in the day. And I go, but why though? Okay, bye. Bye. Crown number 2. I'm not sure what these crowns mean. Will you guys tell me what the crowns mean? Gabriel, why are you saying what the fuck? Do you not understand English? Or am I speaking too fast? Is there a specific question you would like to ask me related to third grade math? Because that's what we're doing tonight. We're working on like multiplication tables and also just general ideas of how like you can really be fooled with numbers very easily and in scam ways, because The problem is that like when you're a kid, or if the kids are in the show, oh, okay. That's cool. Thanks for telling me about the experience on the experiences. Um, I still don't 100. If I'm being real with you, I don't 100 know exactly what that means, but I like it. It seems good because a crown is always good because then you're the king. And kings are always the best. Like they're the ones who have more power. Like a queen exists, but she don't have no power. It's always a king who has more power. That's why things change so much right now. Did you guys notice things really changed a lot like in the last maybe like I don't know, 5 years or so? Not just because of the pandemic. You know why it was? Because we went from queen times in England into king times in England. And you know what? It's gonna be king times for the rest of my life for sure. There's no doubts. Unless they just stop having kings and queens at all in England, it's definitely gonna be king times for the rest of my entire life because we got King Charles right now. For those of you children who don't exactly know what this is that I'm talking about, if you haven't really heard of England or all of that stuff, you should have by third grade, but it's okay if you didn't because that's why we're doing this. Because people need to learn things. Sometimes those chump school for daytime babies don't really teaching you things and they're lying to you. I'm not going to lie to you because I got no skin in the game. Nobody's judging me on how I teach you. I'm just teaching you what I think you want to be knowing because you want to have night school today's modern preteens, you know? I mean, you've already worked a double at the hospital. You don't have time to go to school in the day. Sit here with all these little babies and try to learn things. Yeah, I know they're your same age, but they don't have the same responsibilities. So that's why we have this night school. Anyways, for those of my students who don't know about England and all of that, England is the country that is actually the size of Alabama, a state in America, which is not even the big state. That's how big England is. The size of Alabama. But yet, England, way a long time ago, well, not that long ago, but a few hundred years ago, W school. That means nice school. Well, thank you so much, Gabriel. Do you pronounce it Gabriel? See, I was reading it and it looks like Gabriel. I'm not 100. I don't even know if you're still here right now. I have no way to. I don't really know about a lot of things. Oh, night school means nice school. Oh, that's nice. Well, both. It can be both. It's night school and it's nice school. And that's cool. I mean, that's the whole point of why I wanted to give my time and do this show and do this classes for people. Because again, I mean, it's for the kids that need it for third to fifth grade. They got to get their, they got their parole officer on their back. They need to do this. So I'm like, I'll help you out, bro. I can help you out. I mean, I'm not really a for sure teacher. I'm not like, I didn't go to school for teaching, but I mean, third grade, fourth, fifth grade, all I have to do is look the info up and I will remember most of it because it's like your basic building blocks of learning things. Gabrielle. I don't know how you could tell me if I'm saying it right or not. It's like Gabrielle. I'm being very mean right now because a teacher should always really try hard to understand how to pronounce their students' names. So I really apologize that I'm struggling with this. Gabrielle. Okay, is that close? Gabrielle? I don't know if you'll even hear me say this because as it sends me the like telling me who someone is or whatever, it says nobody's on here right now at this very second. So we may never know. Gabrielle. I wish you could like make like a voice comment so you can say it out loud for me. I'm such a dinglehead. Can you? Okay, so we're doing elementary night school. So one of the skills that you learn in elementary school is how to put something in words phonetically. And that means the way that you pronounce it, but not exactly how it's spelled. So if it's not Gabrielle, like I'm saying it, which you're saying no, it isn't, can you like spell it out sort of like if it's like GA sound, then like I don't know how to do that to explain it to you. Maybe I'll use my other phone and look up. Oh, that's what I'll do. Hold up. Hey, guess what? I'm the teacher of elementary night school and I do have access to information. Gabe Riel. Okay. So it's just really Gabriel, but it's just kind of like spelled fancier. Is that kind of more like it? Do you usually always put a pause between the Gabe and the Riel? Another question I have for you, Gabe Riel, if I'm saying that right. Where are you tuning in from for class right now? I got it right? Oh, good. Gabriel. Okay, good. All right. Well, I like that. That's like the angel in the Bible. If you look into the Christian Bible, but they do have an angel named Gabriel. And that is always, I like that. I like thinking about angels because it reminds me of Christmas time. And, I don't know. Christmas is good. And also, if you look, like, I have like all these little angels right here. That one, and then sort of like those ones. So I kind of try to have them around. I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't really make angels be around you, but you can put little pictures and ideas about angels. But a lot of those ones I just showed you are like ones that were given to me. These ones right here. Oh boy. Oh, here we go. These ones. I don't know if you can see her. She's so cute. She's made out of like a little, her like body is sort of like just like a little beanbag, and then she's got like little tiny like beanbag feet, and then she has like her little cloud angel dress that she's wearing and a little flower there, and her face is made out of like wood, and then she has this like blonde hair, little bow, and then you might not be able to see it too good because I've had her for a long time. She's got little wings, if you can see her little wings there. And it says, "You're an angel." And it's copyright 1992. But this angel is from the year 2000. I received this angel and this angel that same year. They're the same. That lady, Sherry Nickel, she's an artist in Alaska. That's where I was living at the time of when it was like it was Christmas, and then that New Year's it was going to be the year 2000, so it was like Christmas of 1999. And two different ladies that worked there both also got me one of these angels separately. They didn't even know. Oh, Gabriel. Well, you like God? Well, that's good. That's very good. I mean, that's if you're going to be named after an angel in the Bible, you might as well like God. Pretty sure the Bible says that the angels do. All of them except one, I guess. The one that fell all the way down to the very small world. You said you're 9 years old, but you sound like a 13-year-old. Well, I don't know if you think that this show, Elementary Night School, is like some kind of a thing to like entrap small children for me to talk to them. It's literally not. It's really a spoof. It's a joke. It's elementary night school, elementary night school. And it's literally just, it's for adults, obviously, because it's at 11 p.m. Pacific until 1 a.m. Pacific. So that's like super late for actual 8 to 10-year-olds, bro. So like, Gabrielle, don't worry. I am not. If you're trying to like say something like, "Oh, I'm just a little small child," like I'm gonna go like, "Ooh, good. Message me privately." Like I am not gonna do that. That's not what this is for. This is literally for me to be like sharing some info, having some fun, and trying to like loosely have this joke about Arthur Fonzarelli. Now, I don't know where you live, Gabrielle, but if you are only 9 years old, I am sure you don't know what Happy Days is or was, because Happy Days was a what, your name? Don't say your name anymore. I won't say it. It's fine. It's totally fine. Uh Happy Days was a television show. It was on regular network television in the 1970s and 1980s. And this was a television show called Happy Days because it was set, the show itself, world, which of course on a show is not a real world, it's a world they create for a show. That world of Happy Days was set in the 1950s of America, which was like 20 to 25 years earlier than when the show really was. And so that's why I say that the night school experience is the authentic Arthur Fonzarelli, which was the Fonz's full name. And if you've ever heard of the Fonz or seen him, he wears like a brown leather jacket and he's sort of like, hey, he always puts his thumb up and goes, hey, like that. And he rides a motorcycle. Anyways, his name is Arthur Fonzarelli, and he went back to night school in 1981 on the show. But on the show, it was supposed to be in like 1956 or 7 or something. But it was, it's TV, it's fake anyway. So it's like many levels. And like I say, I was in 3rd grade at that time. And when I watched that show, I was so stoked on it because I go like, oh my God, I didn't even know night school was a thing. No one even told me about that. I can't even believe night school is real. And then you're sitting here telling me I can't go just because I'm in 3rd grade. It's only for grown-ups. I go, that's stupid. I like to be up at night. Well, I heard you say that you don't want me to do the theme song again, but I have to tell you the theme song is definitely going to be coming up more than once because that's just part of the show. That's why it's such a short theme song, because that way I can repeat it whenever, like, if more different people come in the room, because it's for branding basically, because this is not only a classroom but it's also a show. And so like a show has to have like clippable moments, and theme songs and little jingles are like that. But if you want, I can sing it quieter. Boy, it just goes like this, and you can sing along if you want to. It's kind of fun. It goes, elementary night school, elementary night school. There, how's that? I didn't yell the night school part at the end. I mean, it is fun to yell the night school part at the end. And if I did actually have real 8 to 10-year-olds in this class with me right now, they would like yelling it, because believe me, I have been a teacher of like not a class like school class, but like church classes or whatever, 4-H, with little kids, and they love things where you get to suddenly shout in the middle of a song, especially kids that are like normally have to just like sit and be quiet so much. They're like, what? I get to shout in the middle of this song? I'm doing it. I see that you put no with like about a zillion O's on it. I'm so sorry. I sing it quieter. I don't know if you just don't like my singing voice. That's fine. It's not a lot of singing in this class, although one of the things that's interesting about elementary school, whether it's night school or CHUMP Daytime School for babies, um, is that elementary school has a lot of singing. You do a ton of singing in school when you're little. And I always say, "Oh, thank you so much for helping us practice all that group singing so that we be prepared for all the group singing that happens when we're at our jobs as adults." I mean, literally, you do all this group singing as a little kid in school and stuff, and then in real life, the only times people really ever sing together is like either church or like on somebody's birthday or something. But other than that, Christmas, like I say, Christmas carols and whatnot. But a lot of people don't be just singing in groups the way you did in school. It's so funny to me because it's just like, what do you guys? I know that the reason is because it's just because, like, especially when you're talking about kids, but really for everyone, if people like sing and make music together, that really like coheses them as like more of a group than if they're just like talking or doing other stuff. So I think that's why they do it with little kids, just to help them feel like I'm in this thing and I'm doing this thing. I'm part of the school and I'm part of the group. And like that makes them feel good. And I mean, I liked singing in school, even though it's crazy that you're like hating my voice and my singing voice because it's pulling up on a lot of my like personal insecurities, so to speak. Because when I was a kid, when I was actually a preteen, ages 8 to 10, in 3rd through 5th grade, which is the target demo or the intended classroom recipient of this program, um and before and after that in my childhood, my family, like my parents and my brother and my sister, they were like super good singers. They could sing so good, all of them. Like they could sing like angels. Like my sister's a soprano, my mom's a alto, my brother is a tenor, my dad was a like the next thing under tenor but not all the way to bass. Like it was baritone, I guess that's it. They could sing, like sing. And then I always was like, I would try to sing because it's church. You kind of have to sing. If you don't sing, people are sort of mad. And I just didn't have that kind of like angel voice or whatever. Excuse me. Look, I'm even coughing right now. I also had undiagnosed asthma at the time. But the thing is, I always felt super, super, mega insecure about my voice, or especially my singing voice. Not really my talking voice, but my singing voice. And so I didn't really do it a lot except for just like when expected. And then because now I do stand up comedy and I go in front of people all the time and stuff, like a lot of the things I do on stage might involve some singing or like, I've done karaoke and stuff and whatever. And I actually don't mind singing in front of people, partly because for a long time I worked at a nursing home. And when you work with elderly people, you do a lot of singing the same way that when you teach elementary school or when you're involved with preschool kids, you're just doing a lot of singing because people who are very young and people who are very older, they really like singing probably more than people in the middle, just because it's like it calms you down. I mean, when you're a baby, your mom sings to you. And so like those sounds just kind of like feel good. And then if you can join in, it's like it feels, again, like I say, like you're part of it. So I got really way more confident about my singing, but I still always have this deep insecurity about it. And one time, like a few years back, I used to have this bit I would do on stage where I would come out and I would like have the DJ play the song California Love by Tupac Shakur. And I had this way how I would do like this robot dance to it, and I would sing it like in this really crazy like robot kind of way. But then there was some parts where I would like really sing. And a friend of mine, which I'm putting quotey fingers in case you youngins don't know what that means. It means I'm saying friend, but they weren't being very much of a friend in this moment. They came up to me after that show and they were like, I really love this character you're doing now. You know, person who thinks that they're good at singing. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's definitely a character I'm doing. That ain't me. I don't think I'm good at singing. And I just kept like this sad smile on my face because I actually do think I was good at singing and I was enjoying it. And then they were like dumped all over it. And so by you being like, no, and putting like, I haven't counted it, but several tens of letter O's on the no after I recently sang the song, you're definitely digging up some like deep seated psychological problems to me, but that's fine. You wouldn't know. And again, if this was a real elementary school classroom, whether it was night school or chump school in the day for babies, either one, if it was real school with real children and not like us playing this game on here being like it's Arthur Fonzarelli and everything, then I wouldn't even be able to tell you that that bothered me that you saying you hate me singing, because that's the number one thing when you're a teacher or if you're like taking care of elderly people or even no matter what it is, you're not supposed to really let on like if something bothering you, because it's not like about you, it's for the other people. It's for teach them or care for them or make them feel like they're succeeding. So I just explained all that to you because this is literally the first epi/class session of my new show that's going to be weekly show, and I'm not really sure exactly how the format is really going to be because this is kind of like just like my initial trying it out, seeing if anybody even logs in or how it works. So I am very, very grateful for you for being here because I think you are still here, maybe, or either that or I'm talking and talking about what that person said and they're not still on here. That would be actually hilarious. Um, but that being said, I mean, I'm gonna get my insecurities out because guess what? On happy days, Mr. Arthur the Fonzarelli was always way secure enough in himself and as a man and as a cool person that even when he felt like this bad feeling of like, I don't feel too confident about myself about this one area or something, he would like full admit it and deal with it. That's why he went to night school, because nobody made him. He could have went along and never gotten his like equivalency diploma. He didn't have to. He was already a very successful mechanic. I mean, that dude never didn't have work as a mechanic. And I don't know if you guys have ever took your car to the shop. I mean, I know a lot of you 10-year-olds might not have one yet, but boy, talk to your spouse or your parent. Psh, it's expensive to go to the mechanic. And so, even in the fake 1950s, in the 1970s, Mr. Arthur the Fonzarelli was not short of money or prestige because he was the coolest guy. Even the people that were way younger than him and stuff and or like didn't know him, they were still like, oh, there goes the Fonz, he's the coolest person ever. So he didn't have to go get his equivalency diploma. He could have just went along and never had that. He didn't have to, but he did. And you know why? Because he wanted to show his nephew, which was a newer character on that show, because it wasn't his nephew Chachi, which is the one that dated Joni, which was the Cunningham's daughter on the show. If you've well, I know you probably haven't seen the show, but some of you may have the bop in and out of here because I did reference it in the title and like in the hashtags, but it don't matter. Look, this is for fun. I'm doing this. I don't care. I really, I may never do this again. I feel so stupid right now, but I'm still doing it anyways. I don't care. I felt stupid when I did it on Facebook, but people would write me messages for a long time after that, like years, and they'd be like, I miss elementary night school. That was really fun. And I miss you singing the song. So guess what? I don't even care whoever hears this or doesn't hear it. I'm going to sing it right now. This is the theme song that I wrote myself and I perform myself repeatedly in this program so people know what they've tuned into. And it goes like this. Elementary night school, elementary night school. And if that hurt anybody's ears or bothered them, I mean, wah, I guess, wah. Like, mute me or just navigate away if you hate it that much. But, I mean, life's too short to sit around and, like, just say what you don't like. Like, that's all people ever be doing. Did you ever notice that? People continually sit here and be like, here's what I don't like. You know what I don't like? Hey, you know what I thought of the other day that I hate? Let me tell you about it. And it's like, hey, why don't we talk about things we do like? Why don't we talk about things we thought of or dreamed of that don't even exist yet, but we think it would be good? Or like how we would make something that does exist into something cooler that's even cooler. People are always like, everything's falling apart and getting worse. But it's like, is it though? Because I'm going to be real with you, I don't think it actually is. I think that is part of the lies they tell you, and that's part of what our lesson plan for tonight is about with math. Because I don't know any students out there. It looks like I only have one student in the class at this time. I'm not even sure if it's Gabrielle, but either way, I don't know what your feelings are about math or what your experiences have been in regards to mathematics in school or in life. Because there's a lot of people who, when they're very small, they get super confused about basic math because somebody tries to force them to learn it way too fast, or they're trying to teach it to them in a way that's super like theoretical, but it doesn't really like match off with like lived reality. And so then people get this idea in their minds that like numbers and math are like this weird, like magical thing that's like kind of mysterious or kind of mystical or something. And like they get nervously about it. And then it doesn't help that like in elementary school and also in junior high or middle school or high school or college or anytime, most teachers that teaching math, well, at least in my experience and in most of my friends' experience, the teachers who like are the specialists and teach just math, they tend to be extremely the most like sternest ones, or the ones that are more just like kind of like they got no time for no crap. Like they're just like they aren't actually going off on like ideological tangents. They're like, here's how you solve the problem. Now, here's another problem. You show me how you will solve it using the thing I just showed you. And you're like, but what if it went like this? And they're like, but it didn't. Just do it. And so I think a lot of people get this feeling of like, they get like a panicky feeling when they try to push number concepts around inside their own head, especially without a piece of paper or a calculator or something. If you're just like trying to just like do a little bit of math in your mind, whether it's even just adding and subtracting or multiplying or dividing or fractions or percents, any of that stuff that we are going to learn together in elementary night school, because it's like 3rd through 5th grade curriculum, it causes a lot of anxiety. It starts with anxiety around like taking a test for math. Like you get a quiz in math and you're like, oh, I thought I knew how to do that, but now I'm panicked. I can't remember like which one goes first or how do I, this is crazy. And then it just like works from there. And you're like, it just creates this feedback loop inside of your mind and your body that causes you, when you try to really get a handle on number things, you just kind of go like, ugh, that's crazy. I'll just ask ChatGPT. I don't care. It's fine. And you're just like moving past it, because it's like uncomfortable. But what I want to help everybody to learn in this class, and other things too, obviously, it's not just math. This class isn't just math, but like tonight I'm just focusing on math, just FYI. P.S. FYI means for your information. The F is for the word for, the Y is for the word your, and the I is for the word information. So when you hear people say FYI, they mean for your information. And what it is it's a way of saying, oh, I don't think you actually knew this piece of information. I'm going to tell it to you right now. Sometimes people are saying it rudely, and some people are just saying it neutrally. Some people are like, hey, FYI, let me tell you this. And then some people are like, FYI, that's not how we do things. Well, if somebody's being like that to you, just ignore them unless they're your boss. And even if they're your boss, you can be like, just because you're my boss, you can't just talk to me like I'm stupid. So keep that in mind no matter what age you are. But FYI, a lot of different topics will be discussed. However, tonight it's math. And we're just getting really started, really simple on some very, very simple aspects of math tonight. The number one thing I wanted to talk about today on math for today's busy, modern, preteens, ages 8 to 10, who need to get through 3rd through 5th grade, but they can't be bothered to do it in the daytime on a regular chump school for babies in the day. Oh, Gabriel, me too. I also have ADHD. Yeah, ADHD pals. I'm right there with you, man. It's good to have treatment for it. That's the only thing I can say. Finally, I got some. It helped a lot when I was like already an adult. Nobody ever thought I had it when I was a kid, because I still got good grades, but that was just because I just like had a good memory, or I could just kind of like, I don't know, just like kind of slough my way through and be like, oh yeah, that's fine. I got that. Oh, I'm good. I got that. I would do good on tests, and I would hardly ever get my homework done. And then they'd be like, you're doing good on tests. Why don't you do your homework? And you're like, because that means I'm doing it at home. I don't feel like that. I do that at school. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But the point is, one of the big ways how math is used to get over on us as citizens, and especially as consumers, is by trickery in the sale signs and the sale flyers, and the ways that a sale price or a special promotional price on an object or a service is presented to us. And the math is used in a way to make things that are only a sort of a good deal sound in our minds like a way better deal than they actually are. The first one I'm going to start off with is one that happens all the time, and I see it happen all the time, and it's amazing how easy it is for your mind to truly not get that part right and be so confused by it. And so what I have is our elementary night school, like this is our board, chalkboard, except for we don't use chalk. We're using a write-on wipe-off marker. Hold up, I've got one here. You know what? Elementary night school is about accepting ourselves, even if we're not always super the most organized. So that's totally fine. So What I'm going to do here is I'm going to write this down, and if you've seen this before, you will know. It goes like this. Buy one, get one 50% off. And I know this is going to be backwards because I got my flip camera on the other side on, but I'm sure you can get it. It says buy one, get one 50% off. Okay, so that really sounds cool, right? Because you're like, oh, if I buy one at regular price, the other one is half off. Wow, I can't afford not to buy the second one. That would be crazy if I didn't buy the second one. I'm leaving money on the table here if it's something that you need two of. But here's the thing. If you do math on this, what you realize is something very crazy, which is if let's say the item in question costs $5, okay? So you buy the first one for $5. All right? Now, you buy the second one for 50% off of $5. So that is going to be 5.00 minus half of 5.00, which is 2.5. So 5.00 minus 2.50 equals, guess what? 2.50. That's how that works. When it's half, they're both going to be the same. Each half will be the same. 50% on one side, 50% on the other side, same number. And when you add those two numbers together, you get that top number, which is the price of the item. So you bought your first one for $5 here. Your second one is then clearly going to be $2.50 because it's 50% off. All right. So for two of this item, you have now paid $5 plus $2.50. That equals, you bring the 0 down here, you bring the 5 down here, and then you put the dot, because that's where the dot is. It comes straight down. Does that make sense? That dot comes straight down under those. And then all you have to add is the 5 and the 2. And to do that, you can go 5, 6, 7, because 2 has like the 2 points on it. It's super easy. 5, 6, 7. But you don't even have to do that with the picturing it and like doing the dots. Just think in your mind, 5 plus 2, that's 7. You can even do that one with your fingers, because you can go 5 plus 2 and then just add them up. It's 7. So at this point, for two of this $5 item, you have now paid $7.50. Now, the normal price for two of the $5 item would be 5 times 2, which equals 10. And whenever you are multiplying something times 2, that means all you have to do is add that thing to itself, because it's the same as the 50% equation. When I said 50% equals the same on both sides of that, like 50% is exactly half. The same thing when you're saying 2 times a number. That means you're going to add that number to itself, because that equals 2 of that number. So that's what multiplication really means, is how many times of that number do you have. So if it's 5 and it was 3 times 5, how many would you have? You would have 5, then plus another 5, that's 10, and then plus another 5, that's 15. You would have 3 of 5s, and that is 3 times 5. So the normal price of two of this $5 item is $10. Okay? So if you take $10 and you subtract $7.50, you will have, hang on, let me fix this. Do a little quick erase here. All right, get out my handy dandy erasing thing. So instead of $10 for two of them, you're only paying $7.50. So you have saved, if you know how much it is, put it in the chat, but I'm going to add it up for you here. You have saved 10 minus 750. So 10 minus 750, down here there's nothing in this spot, like 10, there's nothing there. So O plus O is O. And then O plus 5 is 5. Okay, and there's your dot. And then you're going to say 10 minus 7. And if that's hard to do, here's how you can do it. You can say, all right, this 0 above the 7 cannot minus a 7 because there's not enough 0 to minus a 7. So this 0 needs help from the next one over. So what you would do is you'd cross out this one and put the 1 above this 0. So now instead of the 10 being on 2 places above the 7, you can have it in just 1 place above the 7, which makes it easier to realize that the thing that it's minus of, oh, you know what? I'm telling this to you wrong. See, this is why we learn together on elementary night school. Because I just realized that I just did my own wrong thing. Because I said minus the 1 and put it on the 0. And you're making another 10 there. But the truth is that 10 above that 7 means that 0 can't minus to that 7. So you have to cross this one out so that there won't be anything in this furthest box, only a 0. So now that 1 is gone. Now that 0 is 10 minus that 1. So now what is that? That's 9. 9 minus 7 is 2. So for your 2 $5 items, you have saved on buy one, get one 50% off. You have saved a total of $2.50. Well, if you're not really thinking about it, that sounds like you saved half. But they made you buy 2 of them, and you still only saved $2.50. Well, $2.50 is half of one of them, as we showed here. But you bought 2 of them. So on each one of these, you only saved half of $2.50, which I will show you now. $2.50. You can divide this by 2, which means you take a 2 right here, and it goes in there once. So you put a 1, put the dot above the dot, and so that's 2. It goes in there once, that's a 2. So there's nothing carrying over onto the next one. So how many times can a 2 go into 5? It can go in there twice, because 2 times 2 is 4. And as we work on our multiplication tables, we will get into that. But just know 2 goes into 5 2 times. And if you think about it, it makes sense, because if you've got 5 fingers here and you put 2 of them down, Now you have 3 left. So if you put 2 more down, there's only 1 left, which means you could not put 2 more down. So it can only go in there twice, and then there's 1 left. So we're going to put a 2 here to show the 2 times that the 2 can go in the 5. And then that little 1 boy is going to go right there. And now, how many times does 2 go into 10? Well, again, you can use your fingers for this because it's a small number. So 2 goes into 10 5 times. How do we know? We have 10 fingers. And if we put them down 2 at a time, we'll put them all down. And it'll be 5 times we do that. And that's all 10 of our fingers. So 125. So on each of our $5 items, we have saved only $1.25. So for each of these items, what did we actually pay? We paid 5 minus $1.25. So we can do that like this. 5.00, that's 5 and 0 cents, minus 1.25. So the 0 cannot minus the 5. So what do? You take this 0, cross it out, and put it 1 there, and that makes it 10 minus 5. That is 5. Okay? But now you already crossed this 0 out. That 0 is nothing. It cannot minus the 2. So now you have to take 1 away from the 5. So the 5 turns into a 4, and the 0 turns into a, let me make sure I get this right, a 9, because it's not a 10 because we already crossed that 0 out. So the 1 we get from the 5 makes that into a 9. And so that means 7. 9 minus 2 is 7. Now here's our dot. And then 4 minus 1 equals 3. So for each one of our $5 items, we paid $3.75. Well, that is not half off of those. That, in fact, my friends, represents 25% off, or 1/4 of the price off each item. So they tell you, buy one, get one 50% off. But what you can do to be sure exactly what you're actually going to get off of both is just, since it's 1 and it's 1, you're going to divide 50 by 2. Dividing 50 by 2, you put the 2 into the 5. Remember before we said it can only go twice, and then there's another 1 up there. So we put the 2 right here, and then there's a 1 that goes on to there because of that extra 1. It's called the remainder. So now, how many times does 2 go into 10? We already talked about that. That is 5. And that is half of 50. So when they say buy one, get one, 50% off, they're throwing around that 50% word, the numbers of 50%, which sounds like a big sale, which is a big sale on one item if it was 50% off. But when one of them is full price and the other is only 50% off, guess what? Neither of those items are actually 50% off. In fact, for each of those items, you have only received a discount of 25% off. So, if you didn't really need 2 of that thing right that time at that day, and you could get it by with just 1 for $5 and wait until a better sale comes or they lower the price in general or whatever, then don't buy the second one, because 25% off isn't actually a really huge big sale. I mean, it's a sale, it's a discount. You do get a lower price. Obviously, paying $3.75 instead of $5 for each of them is a good deal. However, not if you don't even need two of them, and especially not if the reason you thought you needed to grab them while they were on sale like that was because it said buy one, get one 50% off, and your brain said 50% off, that's a good deal, and you just grabbed them. Yes, I see that you have ADHD because you have typed it several times, my friend. But that's okay. That's why we're working on this. That's why I'm trying to explain it carefully and slowly in a way that will hopefully help you to see, like, envision how the numbers work. Now, in future class sessions, I'll have more things, more clearly worked out, or I'll have a better way of showing you visually, or I'll do the camera different so that you can read the numbers better. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, I am not the greatest on, like, making videos and technology and whatnot and everything, but I feel that I have information and things that I want to share with people, and a lot of people, whether they are children or whether they are adults, either didn't ever get a chance to learn some of these things, or they learned them a long time ago and they've kind of forgotten them, or other different information took their place, or also people just want to know more than they already know. Like, everybody, if you're living in the world, you should be curious, I feel, because otherwise, what's the point, right? So, this is why I want to share these things, and especially things like that, where if you're at the store and you say, oh, buy one, get one 50% off, good deal. I don't really need two of these, like, dish soaps or whatever, but that's a good price. I'll get them. And then later you have them and you think, this wasn't really that good of a deal. Well, because it really wasn't the deal that you thought in your head. Because our brain just wants to jump right to the, like, most blatantly biggest, like, thing on there. And the biggest thing on those signs is always the word 50% off. But the truth is if they were being honest, what they should have done is have people just say 25% off. Like, and you don't have to buy two of them. But stores know that if it just says 25% off, people will realize that that's not a super significant discount. And if they don't actually need it, they might not buy it just because it's on sale or a good deal. And so I'm trying to say, if you have math right in your brain and you can say, oh, wait, 50% off of only one means it's really only 25% off of both. That's not like, I don't have to hurry up and buy this. I can wait. I can buy it another time. I'm fine. I'll just get one or whatever. You're making your own informed decision based off of having math information immediately in your brain. You don't have to go to a calculator. You don't have to do all this stuff on the paper, because once you really have gotten these numbers in your mind and you work on your multiplication tables and you learn some of these things, like rounding numbers, especially numbers that end in fives and zeros, like anything that is a multiple of 5, those are the easiest numbers in the world to kind of like work with, and you can get really fast and feel really good about it on those. And the good thing is that as I see your comment here that says 5% off, yeah, sometimes it's only 5% off, which that's not a good deal. If somebody's like, oh, 5% off, don't worry about it. I mean, you can pay the extra 5% some other time if it's not on sale. That's not very much usually, unless it's 5% off a house. Okay, if you're talking about a house costs, well, let's say, just for a round number, let's say $300,000. Well, 5% of $300,000 is going to be, let's see, 10% of $300,000 is going to be $3,000. The reason why is because if you multiply 3,000 times 10, no, wait. 10% of 300,000 is actually $30,000. See, look, the teacher can be wrong. But okay, so the house is 300,000. 10% off of 300,000 we know is going to be 30,000, because all you have to do is just take one of the zeros off, and that's 10% on any numbers when it's like with all those zeros on them. So 30,000 would be 10%. So 5% would be half of that, which would be $15,000. So 5% off, as Gabrielle says, is a real good deal on a house, because you're talking about saving $15,000. But let's say the same item that we're talking about, not a house, but it's still 5% off. Let's say that same thing is only $300. So now 10% off is $30 off. But this is only 5% off, so that's only half of that. That's $15 off. So instead of paying $300, all you're paying is $285. So that's not the same thing as paying only $285,000 instead of $300,000 for your house. And this is another one of the ways where if you have access, like how I just worked that out in my head for you, as I explained those numbers to you right there, when you have that confidence about numbers and math and percentages and things like that, then you can pretty quickly and easily kind of like eyeball something and just look at the numbers just like loose and go, oh, that, I don't think that's really going to be worth it. Or, like I say, in the case of a house, somebody says, well, what if I knock 5% off? Well, yeah, now let's say the house is $500,000. Now, for reference, 10% of 500,000 is going to be 50,000. So 5% off of a $500,000 house is going to be, guess what? $25,000. So absolutely, 5% off is a good deal on a very large ticket item. But when you're talking about something that only costs $10, and so 10% off would be $1 off. So now instead of $10, you'd be paying $9. But now it's only 5% off. So now you would have paid $10. Now you're only going to be paying $9.50. So it's a 50-cent savings at that case. Now, one thing I will say is that as we're going through class, I want to make sure to share a lot of like real world ideas and things that will help today's modern pre-teens get through this life. And that is that most of the time, if it's something that you have to have, if you need to buy it, you must have it, it's important, it's urgent, or whatever, any savings is better than no savings. So if, let's say, the thing that's only 5% off is like a flange that you need for your toilet in your house, and this toilet is not even going to work anymore, it's like running water, like you're getting a huge water bill over this. It's a big, huge deal. Nothing's going to fix it except if you get this flange and have a guy put it in. And the only place where you can find the flange that you need is on sale, but it's only 5% off. Well, guess what? 5% is great. If it's something you got to have right now, you'll pay full price. It doesn't matter because you got to have it. But where you can be more pickier and choosier is then if you think, okay, yeah, that's marked down, but it's not marked down very much, and I don't actually need it that bad. This comes into play a lot of times when we're talking about apparel and accessories. Apparel and accessories, jewelry, handbags, backpacks, wallets, hats, and also just clothing, jackets, all that stuff. That's one of the areas in a store or in shopping in general, even online, where the most of this kind of like, we're going to pretend it's on sale, but it's not actually that very good of a deal. But we're going to seem like it's such a big deal because it's marked down. Oh, marked down, clearance price, market. Oh, new markdowns, lowest price in weeks, whatever. Um, and I mean, when you're talking about clothing items and apparel items and accessory items, how much purchase urgency is there? Because ostensibly you're wearing clothing at the time that you're making these purchase decisions. So you already obviously own some clothes. So do you like no need new clothes per se? Not necessarily. Because you have them. You just want a new different style of clothes or a different color of the same clothes you already had or whatever. But it's just like what you wanted. It's not like, oh, I have to having this. It's like the flange for the toilet. Now, a difference would be is if you have to have a particular outfit or a particular garment for a specific reason, such as an event or a function or a work uniform or a costume for a play or whatever you need like that, where it's like time sensitive and it's like very specific. Okay, in those cases, there is a little bit of purchase urgency because once you find the thing you need, you really ought to snatch it up and go for it because you're going to need it. And you don't have time to be too crazy about checking which is the best deal. But in this life, my students here at elementary night school, I want to tell you something. If you don't learn anything else tonight, I want you to think about this. In this world, when you have money and you are thinking about purchasing something or you find something that you think you want or need and you're like, that's cool, I want that or I need that or whatever, I want you to understand that there are very, very, very few instances in which there is actually a urgency for you to make a purchase. Okay? People who are selling you something are always going to make you feel in your mind that if you don't snatch up this deal today, then you'll never see this deal again. Hello, Veggie Nest. Great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. It's elementary night school. We're going over some very basic and important information about mathematics that is starting with third grade mathematics. This is for people of all ages. It's geared towards your preteens who have a job in the day and they need night school for elementary, third grade. But hey, listen, we're doing it for everybody. But this is something that's for everybody, and that's what I'm saying. Somebody says to you, well, I don't know if I'm going to have any of these left if you come back tomorrow. Well, guess what, brother? They've got 500 of those in their truck. All right, they're going to tell you you got to hurry up and buy this. They're going to tell you the price is going up tomorrow. Have you guys watched YouTube? I mean, we're on YouTube right now. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but like about 30 to 50% of the ads on YouTube are basically like a person from AI being like, I don't know if you'll have another chance to buy this. The government's taking it away. And I'm like, you can't. The only things that there's really urgency to buy are like a coat if it's like suddenly freezing out, or an umbrella if it suddenly starts raining, or a raincoat, or like, you know, flood insurance if like you're living where there's a hurricane and it's gonna be coming soon. These type of things where it's like, yeah, there is urgency of purchase because of your own situation creates the urgency. But what I'm trying to tell you is, on the side of the person selling the items or the services, there is never actually said urgency, even if they are telling you that there is. That urgency they put on you is so that you won't stop and use your mind thoughts and use these math skills to go, wait a second, this person isn't even giving me that good of a deal. Or wait a second, this guy says that this costs $9, boy. I just saw it the other day at my local store for only $7. Like, this guy's telling me he's the only guy who's got it, but I saw it at the store. But see, if they sit there and they say to you, you better get in on this, you're going to lose out. What happens if you don't get this thing? Oh boy, you'll be wishing you did, man. You're going to regret it and everything. They keep on talking to you like that. They keep on making it louder. Do you ever notice that like advertisements, whether it's on YouTube or on television or on the radio or on podcasts or wherever you see advertisements that have a like an audio component, they're always way louder than like every other thing that was just on. And they're always like a little bit faster paced. They're always like more intense, or like, especially a lot of advertisements nowadays, they artificially like do that like 2 times speed or whatever on people's voices, just to make it so that your brain goes like, oh no, something crazy is happening right now. I have to pay attention. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Oh, I better pay attention really close because this person's like, it's very important. It's urgent. And when your brain starts to go like, oh no, something's so urgent. Oh, I better pay attention. Oh, what if I lose out? I don't want to miss out. Oh, everybody else is already getting these and I'm not going to have one. Oh no. What happens is like all of your normal thoughts of like how you're really planning your life and what's actually important to you generally kind of like goes to the side, because these urgency thoughts that this person artificially gives you about these items or this time frame overrides that, because your brain wants to take care of things that are presented to you in an urgent manner quicker than things that are presented to you in a calm and reasoned tone or in a slow and gentle way. If something is being presented to you in a very measured, calm, kind of like the way I'm speaking right now, just in a very informative, neutral energy, kind of just like, here's the information, this is the product, if you like it, it's no big deal. Your brain will go like, that's chill. But then if someone is going like, you better get this, and like, oh, we're gonna run out of them by Thursday, and all this stuff, and they're like being chaotic energy and like pressing you, urgent energy, making it seem like if you don't make a decision right away, the decision will be made for you and you'll lose out on something. That sense of urgency that is given to you, your brain will automatically determine that that is the most important thing it needs to pay attention to above everything else, because it's being presented to you as urgent, important, and vital. But it's going into a part of your mind that is kind of like your lower level. It's like the level of like if you were like a deer in a field, and a deer in a field hears a sound that sounds like a hunter with guns or a wolf pack or something. They hear like some branches cracking and they're like, oh no, oh no. And they're freaking out. And that's the only thing they can pay attention or notice. And my dog is going crazy back here. I don't know what she's doing. So like that part of the brain that's like back from being like creatures in fields and creatures who are like nervously because something, hi Lily, something bad could happen, or they're like they could get killed or something. So that's why your brain has this automatic little thing inside of itself that like when somebody's like, oh no, freak out right now, your brain will go, what? I better freak out right now. And like, it isn't really supposed to, and it doesn't really need to, because like there's always going to be another thing. And especially because we're living in 2026, everything, they can make anything, they make everything. When I was a kid, it wasn't really like that. You didn't have a lot of choices on items that you purchased, especially like clothes, or like you see all the crazy junk I have around in here, like little cutie things that I like and stuff. When I was a kid, I mean, they didn't even have like denim jeans that were like more than like a couple colors. Like basically there was like those super dark denim jeans with like the orange stitches. Then there was like the like stone wash ones, and then there was like the acid wash ones that were like kind of more white and like bleachy looking. That's it. And those were the only jeans you could ever get. That's it. There wasn't like orange jeans, and there wasn't like jeans with like patterns on them. Or so if you found something that was like cool like that, or like some t-shirt of a band or something that you like, it was like a random, not a lot of people were into it, or like you didn't really see that around places, you saw it at some boutique, like you're at the beach and you're shopping with your friends, you would feel like, oh, I better buy this right now because I'm not going to find this again. Nobody making this. I better get it. But you young people today don't have that problem in your minds, because you don't have that mindset of a lack, or you don't have that mindset of like, oh, this one unicorn item, I better get it and take it home with me because I will never have another chance to possess this. You guys don't have that worry in your head, because if there's one of something, then there's a million of something, because that's how it is nowadays. Like, even if somebody did make something that was one of a kind, machines and corporations and computers and scam artists and everybody else under the sun would go, oh, somebody paid for that one, okay, I'm just gonna like make the same exact thing and also sell it. So if you want something, you can always get that thing, even if like that Amazon storefront runs out of that item, a different Amazon storefront will have it or some other type of shop or whatever. Like, there's always more of something. And also in 2026, you can have people make things just sort of like for you. Like, people can just make something for you that you want. Like, for example, yes, this is Lily Marlene. She is one of our class mascots. She's a very good girl. I'm going to put her over here. Go, Lily. Go up there. Get up on the bed. But for example, this shirt right here that I'm wearing, this shirt is a selfie with another selfie. You can just barely see the bottom of that one selfie down there, but there's like an arrow pointing to it. So this is selfie with selfie with selfie. I've been taking these selfie chains at the open mic at the comedy club. I did it last year, and I'm doing it this year. And so I wanted to do something extra funny and surprising. I had this shirt made. of the selfie with selfie with selfie. And I wore the shirt, and we took another selfie with this shirt, and people were like, "Oh, that's crazy, that's wild, it's amazing you did that, that's wild, oh, so funny." But the thing of it is like, it was super easy for me to just go on Shutterfly and send them the photo and be like, design the shirt, West Side Comedy, selfie with selfie with selfie, Tuesday open mic, selfie chain 2026, catch the vibe. But I went on Shutterfly. All I did, I go on my phone, boop, 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 put my picture in there, lay it out, set it up how I want it, send them the money, which wasn't even very much money. And then they send me back this beautiful shirt, which has my own face on it and my friends' faces, and it's all cool. When I tell you, most of my life up until really the internet that we have today, if you wanted a shirt, a t-shirt made with a photo on it like that, you would have to basically go to the screen printers or other types of print shop type places in your town or around where you live, and then bring them the like actual physical photo negative of the photo physically, like, you know, like these are physical, like physical photo. And then the screen printer guy would like lay out this whole special fancy maneuvering rig, special machine, everything else. He would have to get the t-shirt itself and then actually screen print that on there, which is a very intensive process, especially for all the colors that are on this. Man, this shirt cost me with shipping and everything, because I had a discount. It was literally like $15 or $16, including shipping, for me to get this shirt made special for me and everything. Now, when I tell you, even in old time money, which wasn't like, it took more of that money to equal less of today's money, basically, even in those old monies, which aren't worth as much, it was still expensive to do something like this if you wanted to. If you wanted a guy to make you just the one shirt like that with the photo, man, back then it would probably cost you anywhere between like 45 and like $100. And it would take a while too, because he would have to work hard on it physically, his actual self physically. He couldn't just like computer beep boop beep, put it in there and do it. It was like all hard things to do. And so I'm telling you this whole story as a way to say, at this current junction in life of human beings on this earth, in commerce or whatever, there is in fact no such thing as actual purchase urgency. The only purchase urgency, like I said, are things that you have to have in the very moment that you have to have them, such as a raft if you've fallen out of the boat or whatever like that. Or, a casket and a burial plot if somebody dies. Like, that's, you can't just put that off. You can't leave, for various reasons, you cannot put that off. But even then, you can still shop around a little to a couple of different mortuaries and a couple of different funeral homes and cemeteries and stuff, and find what works for you. You don't have a lot of time, but you have a little time, even when it comes to something like that. If the person tries to say, well, you better lock it in now, you're being in trouble, I don't know if we'll still have this open next week, or you won't still have caskets next week. Come on, bro, that's what you sell. So tonight's lesson has been about the power of numbers. Numbers are something that actually do have magic. The reason they have magic is because if you boil almost every single thing about our world, our universe, our existence, our understanding of whatever this all is, or as Gabrielle said, the WTF of whatever's going on Earth, or not just Earth, all of this, um, numbers are at the center of all that. Like me talking to you right now, there's actually a mathematical way to understand everything about what I'm saying, from the words themselves to the sounds I am making to create those words for you to hear them, to the technology and the internet and the telephone and the cell phone and the tower and all of the whatever, even the battery, all that stuff. Every single aspect of that can be in some way quantified or expressed in the form of a mathematical property or equation. In fact, everything about your body, your eyes, your ears, everything, your genes, not your clothing genes, but your body genes that makes you who you are, that you inherit from your family, all of that has a mathematical way of being expressed. A person who understands real deep things about math that we're not going to get into in elementary night school would be able to boil every single aspect of everything. I mean, they could take this hat and they go like, blah, 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 do some calculations, and they go, mathematically, it's a blah, blah. I don't know what it is because I'm not that advanced on math, but when you feel that feeling of power or magic or majesty, really, that comes off from numbers or comes off from just thinking about numbers or getting like lost in the sauce of some kind of numerical things, it can be a little intimidating, like I said, and it can cause anxiety because you feel like, oh, I'm not equipped, I'm not prepared, I'm not able to actually wield this magic, or I'm afraid that my lack of understanding of this magic will cause it to be detrimental to me. Well, that second fear that I just named is actually valid, because if you don't really understand how numbers work at the base level, if you don't really have your simple math, your simple adding, your simple subtracting, your simple multiplication and division, and percentages and fractions, although percentages more so than fractions, um, then it will feel like you could be harmed in some way by this lack of knowledge. And that's not inaccurate, because the ways that you would be harmed are the ways I was just talking about how you can be scammed on prices of things, or you can be scammed on the value of something, or you can be scammed on, like, let's say, wage theft by your boss. Because if you don't really like to sit down and do multiplication or adding and subtracting and such, then your boss could easily be rounding off like 10 minutes or a half hour a day off of your paycheck. And if you're not really sitting there and doing those math problems yourself and saying, I make this much per hour and I work these number of hours, I should be making this amount of money. If you just go like, oh, I trust that the system does it, then they can steal from you and you wouldn't even really realize, because you're not keeping that deep of a track, or because you don't feel you have the capacity to keep that deep of a track. But what I'm here to tell you, and what we're going to work on together on Thursday nights going forward, Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Pacific on Thursday nights, going until 1 a.m. Pacific on Friday mornings. That's a 2-hour class session each week. This was our first night tonight. We have about 15 minutes left of class right now. As we go forward, hopefully I'm going to be able to help you to understand that math is actually very much your friend. Math is your friend, because when you have harmony and comfort and a base level of confidence as it pertains to mathematical expressions, mathematical equations, and the outcomes of mathematics in your actual world and life, not just money, but a lot of things. Um, that's going to help you in ways that you probably can't even imagine. And especially if you're one of today's modern preteens, ages 8 to 10, taking third through fifth grade at night school, trying to get the authentic Arthur Fonzarelli Happy Days fake 1950s and the 1970s night school experience for your third through fifth grade curriculum. um we're going to make it great. We're going to make it so that these things don't intimidate you and you do feel confident about your own ability to not only be able to like pass a test or fool the teacher that you understand or whatever, kind of get by with something, but not that feeling of getting by, but the feeling of being like, oh no, I understand this. I don't just think this, or I'm not just guessing. I do get it, and I see why it's this way, and it makes sense, and I understand it, and I'm going to use this information for my own self so that I can function the best as possible for me. And that's really what elementary school, the actual chump school in the day for babies. That's for babies. We're adults here. Even the preteens who come to my class, I mean, they're pretty adult because that's why they're at night school, because they have a life, they have a job. Duh. So that's the thing, is that like we're going to be convincing and showing ourselves the things that elementary school curriculum is meant to do, which I feel the thing that elementary school curriculum, and particularly the elementary night school hot spot, sweet spot between third and fifth grade for ages 8 to 10. But again, all ages, but brushing up. The thing that school does for people, all people, but kids and whatever, is it allows you to experience that feeling of going, I get it. I understand this. And it feels so good when you have that happen. When you're like, oh, okay, this isn't just like an assignment for class. This isn't just like, oh, I have to do this because whatever, like the government says you have to go to school or whatever. This is more like, oh, because now I know a new piece of information I didn't know before. Now I have a deeper understanding of this insane world that I'm in. And I'm just like a person trying to figure out how to do this world, or what even I'm supposed to do, or who I am, or what I think, or what even the ideas are, or something. This will help you because these pieces of information that I'm trying to share through this class, and again, tonight we mostly focus on mathematics, although as elementary night school always does, it went all over the place, and that's fine because it's a live classroom experience, and that's how live classrooms always are. They always go all over the place. They never stay in just the one lesson subject. If they do, what a boring class, right? So I want to help people to have more of those, what I call magical talisman, in their pockets. And what I mean is basic pieces of information that are like the very foundational building blocks of how you learn about all sorts of other things that are way more bigger and complex and more, you know, have much more aspects to them or at higher levels and stuff. But the thing is that if you never actually know these lowest level things like the addition, the subtraction, the multiplication tables, and how to do long division on paper, like I was showing you with carrying over the remainders and all that, if you never really know how to do those things, it puts you at a severe disadvantage when it comes to trying to understand higher level things that you're going to learn as you go along further in your life, either in your academic life or just in your general life as an employee or a parent or a family member or a friend or whatever, pet owner. All the things you need to learn in life are going to be easier, and your understanding of them are going to be much more complete if you work and spend a little bit of time with me building these very basic building blocks. And I believe that most of you have most of these building blocks at your disposal, but a lot of us have not brushed up on this stuff in a very long time. And so it helps to put it into the front part of your brain where you're like, oh, I have access to this information again. Maybe it had gone to the back and you didn't always able to like pull it up in your brain. And also it's like it's all about being curious. And that was one of the things. I'm gonna get a little emotional here for the show, but when I first started this show, which Gabrielle, I don't know if you're still there, but it's called Elementary Night School, and the song goes, Elementary Night School, Elementary Night School. When I first invented Elementary Night School, well, when I first came up with the idea, obviously I was actually in elementary school, and I didn't understand why I couldn't go to night school, because the Fonz could, and so why couldn't I? But when I came up with the concept more like for a live kind of like online show, but also class, the whole idea in my head was that I really wanted people of all ages, preteens and up, to kind of get that feeling again of going like, oh, okay, that's how those two things goes together. Or, oh, that's why that's like that. Or, oh, I'm interested in more of information about that thing we talked about. And then go look on more information for yourself and stuff. To be honest, in my life, the thing is my mother is a teacher. And I've had a lot of excellent teachers, and obviously my mother is an excellent teacher and an excellent mother. Here she is, just so you can see her. Oh, that's another good picture to try to grab. Let me grab you one here, my sweet mom. You won't believe it. She's so cute. Look at my mom. My mom's a teacher. And the thing about my mom and a lot of other great teachers I've had in my life is that what's awesome is it's not just that they're teaching you it and they're teaching you information and that's what they do and that's what they're supposed to do and that's their job, whatever. But it's that they're so excited to take the information that they already learned and help you learn it and see you as a student learning something and then taking that thing and making it your own thing and learning something whole new and turning around and asking questions to the teacher where the teacher goes, oh, wow, they really are learning it because they're asking me questions I don't even know because they're so interested and it's like helping them. And there really is no greater feeling than like feeling like you gave someone a power that they didn't have before that. And knowledge is very much a power. Knowledge is almost one of the only powers that exists. And so for me to be able to, in any way, shape, or form, come on here and share or give any piece of information, whether it's this math stuff, whether it's the stuff I said about scam like sale signs or people who try to pressure you to hurry up and make a decision about buying a car or a house or a hot dog or whatever, and how that's just them trying to sell it to you. It doesn't mean you have to hurry up and decide. Um, any piece of information, whatever I talked about, whatever words comes out of my mouth or whatever happens on here, I don't know you, but I get really enthusiastic when I think about information and knowledge as being like a good virus, or like a thing that's like, it's like if we were computers, it would be like the kind of like computer patch that like helps increase the vibe of like the whole entire computer network, because everything's operating at a higher vibe now. And to me, the topics and the information that I choose and want to share on this program are things that I think in my head, I go, well, these things are helpful to me to understand. These things have been helpful for me in my life to be able to function and navigate through things. How cool would it be if, I could help increase and rise the vibe of some other people who maybe didn't have a chance to learn that thing, or maybe it was so long ago they learned it they forgot already, or maybe the way someone taught it to them was mean and not nice, or they couldn't learn it from that person because of the way that they talked, or because of what was going on in their own life at the time when they were supposed to be learning it. A lot of times little kids, they're at the whim of whatever's going on with their family, and especially their parents. So a lot of kids, there's a lot of really super important information that they need to learn. But at the time when they're supposed to be learning it in school, something crazy is happening with their family or whatever, or they're sick or whatever happens, and they can't really pick the info up. Their brain doesn't really have the ability to be like, oh, also I'm going to learn my multiplication tables, but also my mom's dying of cancer or whatever. So kids have these gaps. And then guess what? That means adults have these gaps where they might not even realize there's things they don't know, or they know there's things they don't know and they feel stupid about it because it's something they should have learned when they were a kid. But it wasn't their fault they didn't learn it when they were a kid. Being a kid is hard. Being a kid is like one of the hardest things in the whole entire world, man. I mean, it's second only to being a grown up, I guess. I don't know, man. It ain't easy. So I guess that's the message I want to leave my students with for this evening. And if you come back and watch this at some other time on the archives or what have you, I want you to know that me, your teacher, M. Allen, and our great spiritual mentor, Mr. Arthur Fonzarelli of the television program Happy Days, which gave us the example of the authentic Arthur Fonzarelli fake 1950s in the 1970s night school experience. I think I and Arthur Fonzarelli, and even if he knew about this, which I doubt he would, because this is like, why would he? Mr. Henry Winkler, who played the character of the Fonz, I think all three of us would like to leave you with the message, if I can speak for them, that you did a great job when you were a kid. You're doing a great job if you're still a kid. You're doing a great job if you're not still a kid. You're doing your best. You've always been doing your best, and you're going to keep doing your best, because that's all anybody's ever doing. We're always doing our best. Our best changes a lot because there's a lot of things that change all the time about ourselves, about our world, and about our life. And so that changes what our max capacity is of achieving something. But it don't mean that we're ever not actually trying. I don't think people ever actually set out to do a bad job. I don't think people ever actually say, I'm just not even going to do this. I'm not going to try. Not if they actually do it. If they say I'm not going to do it, they just don't do it. But if they do it and it doesn't go like super great, it's not because they were like, I'm not even going to try. It's just because that was their best right then. And so, the message I want to leave you with for the next week until we meet again next Thursday evening on August 6th, I believe it is, at 11 p.m. Pacific time, American, uh, is to give yourself a lot of grace, give yourself a lot of space to understand that there are way more things to learn in this world than your ability is to actually learn them. And so you can absolve yourself of the panic that you might feel that you could never learn it all because no one's ever learned it all. That's impossible. So give yourself grace, give your childhood self a lot of grace. Give your childhood self so much grace. Think about if you were talking to a child right now as an adult, you wouldn't be mean to them. You wouldn't tell them they were stupid. You wouldn't tell them how much they screwed up or that they like are dumb and couldn't do something or that like they just can't figure out math, or you would never talk to an actual child the way that you talk to the child that you once were that lives inside yourself now. And so I would say talk to yourself inside the way that you would talk to a child that you love and care for right now to their face, but to your own face. Because guess what? Here at elementary night school, we're all the Fonz. We're all cool. It don't matter what somebody says or thinks is cool. We are cool. You're cool. I mean, you came here to be you, and you're doing it. So sing it with me. Whether I feel insecure or not, I'm going to sing it right out here at the end of the show. See you next Thursday, 11 p.m. Pacific, August 6, 2026, for guess what? Next class session of Elementary Night School. Elementary Night School. Bye, and thank you all very much. I really appreciate all of you.